Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at all over the world. I want to thank you for tuning in to this Facebook Live. Those of you that are also joining in Periscope, I ask that you share this broadcast if you can share it. Also, put your city and state in the chat. We want to talk today about a few things. Those of you, while we're waiting for everybody to come into the room, one of the things I want to mention is this Thursday, June 1st, we're going to be doing our webinar, Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. And if you have not registered, you can go to the link. Those in Periscope, you can go to the link in the bio, IssacharBey.com. You can register for the free webinar. It's a free webinar. Those of you in Facebook, you can look in the description box and you'll be able to click on the link. Today I want to talk about what lies behind us and what lies in front of us can never be really compared to what lies within us. And sometimes we don't really understand what's really within us because we are so wound up and so controlled by what's happening behind us. We hold on to the past. It's always what we used to do, what people used to know us as, and some of the things that we made in life, the mistakes we made, and people will hold you and people will categorize you by the mistakes about what your past is. And so sometimes we feel the necessary negation of dealing with what lies behind us. We hold on to the past. And the past is something that we must always be willing to let go. Not necessarily to forget, because you have to understand that your past is basically showing you, giving you great insight and intuition and great affirmation as to what you've been doing in life. And you use your past to enhance the future. But many of us are still holding on to the things of the past. We're still holding on to the mistakes. We're still holding on to the people that have long left us, and the situations and the circumstances that have hurt us and the things. And so what happens is, by us holding on to the past, we're not really focusing on going into the future. But here again, in the particular title, once again, is what lies behind me, what's in my past, and also what's in my future, can never be compared to what's going on within me. Because within me is what determines my life. It determines everything about me. It determines what happens in my reality, what happens tomorrow, next week, next year. And so we don't need to really focus on what happened behind us. We don't need to focus on so much what's going to be happening in the past or what's happening in the future. But if we can focus on what's happening within us, because it's within you that everything that you need to succeed and to elevate and to move into your level of greatness. When dealing with life, we've always been pushed to go outside of ourselves. We've always been pushed to move beyond the very things that we need. And so we have always been pressed to move outside of ourselves. So the things outside of ourselves are very flamboyant and they begin to be glamorizing. And so we connect and embrace those things, never realizing that the very thing that we needed to understand is that what's going on within us. Everybody wants, listen, the greatest fight you ever going to fight in this life is the fight against yourself. Looking yourself in the mirror and being able to say to yourself, listen, I'm the one that got to work on me. I got to do the work. I got to be able to go in and to detect and define, who am I? What is it that's going on within me? Because I've noticed in life, many of us wear masks. Yeah, we wear masks. We go around and we put on masks, and we want people to believe that we are this person, that we are this entity, that we have the things that we want them to believe we have, and we are the people that we want them to believe that we want them to know. But what happens is, what you realize is, some of us been wearing a mask so long that we forgot who we really are. We forgot our real identity. We forgot who we really are. And so we've been so connected either to the past, or we're so concerned about what our future looks like, that we forgot what's really within us. We forgot about the power that's within us. We forgot about the greatness that's within us. We forgot about the opportunity and the ability to create our own reality. We forgot about the power of our imagination. We forgot about the power of our thoughts and how we are able to magnetize and bring things into perspective, but still yet we're worrying about what's behind us. We're worrying about what's in front of us, still negating, not paying attention to the very thing that's within us. Because you never get out of life what you want. So what does that mean? That means to me is that as long as I want to be successful, as long as I want to be great, as long as I want to find a soulmate, as long as I want to get married, as long as I want that car, that house, as long as I want that good job, that good paying job, as long as I want to make that shift in my career, as long as I want, I will never get. For I will only get out of life what I become, which means that it doesn't matter what's behind me, it doesn't matter what's in front of me. But as soon as I begin to focus on what's within me, then and only then can I magnetize and bring to fruition the very thing that I want to manifest. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, what problem do you solve? Because in life, we have people that have problems, and the more problems you solve, the more successful and the more wealthy that you can become by solving problems. And so I had to really think about it, and I really came to a conclusion that my problem solving skills is helping people to go within to find out who they are, to go within to create what it is that they want to create. Because the beginning of creation starts with your imagination, the power of your imagination. And if you are able to go within and find out the powers that lie within, it doesn't matter about what's going on outside of you. It doesn't matter what happened behind you, because we are always focused on, listen, let me tell you one of the reasons why people always gravitate towards what's behind them. Because we can connect to the past. We have been through the past. We have experienced the past. And so what happens is we can connect to the past because we know how it feels. We know how it tastes. We know we know the touch, the smell. And so we can connect to the past. And so what happens is a lot of us are afraid of what tomorrow holds. We are afraid of what the future holds. So what we do is we gravitate and hold on to the past. We may not want to hold on to the past. We may not like holding on to the past. But because I'm afraid and I don't really know what tomorrow holds, I begin to hold on to things that I really should have let go. I'm holding on to people and circumstances and things that I should have let go a long time ago, and not realizing that the things that I'm holding on to, the things that I'm still holding on to psychologically, emotionally, those things that I'm holding on from the past emotionally and psychologically are the very things that are stopping me from elevating and moving into my level of greatness. And so if I want to be in a position to move into this level of greatness that I need to move into, one of the things that I have to do is be mindful of not what's behind me, not so much of what's before me, but what lies within me. Because it's what's within me that's going to give me the ability to move into any direction and to create whatever it is that I need to create. Some of you that are watching and you are entrepreneurs, you are building your brand, you're moving into a level of greatness, you want to shift into a new career, you want to revamp your family, you want to revamp your finances, you want to revamp every aspect of your lives. The first step in doing all of those things is you going within. It's first you going within, being able to discover that everything that you need to do those things already exists within you, and that you don't need to look anywhere outside of yourself. Well, why is that? Because this is what happens. Anytime I go outside of myself to get something or attach to something that I think I need, what really happens is I give that thing power over me. And so what happens is I don't want to give anybody else my happiness. I don't want to give anybody else my greatness or my success. I don't want to give anybody else my livelihood. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to attach myself to anything outside of me, because I give power to that thing. But when I realize that the greatest power that I have is what lies within me, then and only then can I maneuver and put myself in the better positioning to be able to accomplish everything that I need to accomplish. listen, those of you that are watching right now and you're just tuning in, this is Issachar Bey, your leading authority on creating your own reality. Listen, this Thursday, June 1st, we're having a live webinar, Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. If you have not done so yet, please go and register. You got to be in the building. This is going to be some life-changing truths, golden nuggets, precepts that we're going to be giving to expand your consciousness and put you in a better positioning to be able to play in the game of life and become a winner and begin to manifest and begin to get the results that you need in life. Those of you that are watching by Facebook Live, you can go, it's in the description box. The link is right at the top. Also, those that are watching at Periscope, what you can do is you can go to the link, IssacharBey.com, and you can click on the link and begin to register for this free webinar this Thursday. Want to see all of you, looking forward to seeing all of you in the webinar as we begin to give you some great insight and some great opportunities to go within and discover the things that you want. So for instance, people have been saying to themselves, you know what, all this time I've been searching for love. I've been searching for love. And so a lot of times when we're searching for love, we go outside of ourselves looking for love because we feel like love and attention or being accepted comes from within. And a lot of times we're looking for somebody to accept us when in reality we need to accept ourselves. I found out, and I believe this concept to be very true, that the very thing that you're looking for is already looking for you. The very thing that you're seeking, the very thing that you're going after is the very thing that's coming after you. And so what happens here is that when you begin to go within and realize the power, the greatness, the success that you have within, then and only then will you be in a place where you can now understand and say, listen, you know what? I gotta take the mask off. It's time to take the mask off of what I've been allowing people to think that I am, or allowing people to see what I wanted them to see. But it's time for you to take off the mask and walk in your truth. Who are you? What is it that you're going to be bringing on the stage of life? What gift, what talent, what service are you going to be providing in the stage of life? And so as you pull this mask off and begin to now live in your true identity, but understanding that you can be, do, and have whatever it is that your heart desires. And so as you begin to move in that element, you begin to understand and move in that particular understanding. And so a lot of us, as we move into the present of what tomorrow, of next week, next month holds, we don't know what next month holds. We don't know what next week's going to be like. They always say the best way to predict the future is to create it. I can't be afraid of tomorrow. I can't be afraid of next week, because whatever I do today will determine what happens tomorrow. And so if I'm able to create my next week or my tomorrow or my next month, how could I be afraid of what tomorrow holds? But listen to this. Everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm going to be creating and moving into this particular newfound opportunity that I'm going to create, it all happens from within. When you allow yourself to go within and focus your attention, because where you focus your attention is where everything else comes into, where your emotions go, where your heart goes. Everything that you put your attention to, everything in your life begins to follow. They always say that you only get out of life what you pay for. What do you mean by that? What do you mean I only get out of life what I pay for? You only get out of life what you pay for, what you pay your attention to. What are you paying attention to? Because of everything that you're paying attention to is what's going to show up in your life. I can't worry about pay attention to what's behind me. I'm not paying attention to what's before me, or worrying about what's going to be happening or what's going to transpire before me. But what I need to pay attention to is the things that lie within me, because what lies within me is what gives me the opportunity to make the changes and to position myself in the right place, to connect with the right people, to be in the right place at the right time, and to begin to evolve and create the life that I've always wanted to create. And so as we begin to move into that element, we begin to understand that life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. You're going to meet two kind of people in this world. You're going to meet people that pour into you, and you're going to meet people that take away from you. And so you have to decide what kind of people are you going to attract. You don't need to attract people that are constantly going to take from you and constantly pull away from you, but you want people that learn how to pour into you, learn how to increase, learn how to enhance who you are. And as they pour into you, guess what? You pour into them. You want to be around people that pour into each other, not take away from each other. And so we learn this, and as we go through life, we begin to evolve and begin to manifest our dreams and our goals by connecting with the right people and connecting with like minds. And so we move into that element. Those of you that are just joining in, I want to thank you. It's a great honor and a privilege to have you guys tuning into this broadcast. Of the many people that are on, you guys took the time to watch me, and I'm appreciative of it. I really appreciate it greatly. What you can do for me is begin to share this broadcast. Share it with 5 of your friends who you think need to hear this message. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please register for our free webinar, June 1st. We're going to be teaching out of this book, The Art of Manifestation, 6 Keys to Creating Your Own Reality, this Thursday, June 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely go to the link in the bio, and you can actually register for free and be a part of this great, dynamic, life-changing event that will take place. Also, those of you that are interested, I have my new book, my new release book. It's entitled The Art of Manifestation, 6 Keys to Creating Your Own Reality. And in this book, I get into the whole concept of, I lay out the whole blueprint on how to create anything and everything that your heart desires. I give you 6 keys, and each of these 6 keys, if you apply these 6 keys to whatever it is that you want to manifest or create, you will begin to see absolutely unprofound dynamic results. And so this book right here is the new release book. You can actually click on the link in the description box. You can get your copy today. Those of you that are in Periscope, what you can do is go to the link as well, and you can actually go to the website and get your copy. What is our greatest asset in life? What is our greatest power in life? One of the things that I believe, I would say the greatest asset that each one of us has is the power of our imagination. Because the imagination is the beginning of creation. It is the beginning of the place that takes us from where we are and begins to show us that as we begin to use and utilize our imagination, that we begin to create and expand our world into something that we probably never could ever do in life before. And so as we begin to work with that, we begin to understand and begin to manifest it in that. Somebody in the Periscope said they believe that money has the power. To me, money is a tool that we use. Money is something that we attract by having ideas. Those people so when people say, I want to attract money into my life, what you're saying is you want to become a money magnet. You want to be able to attract money from different streams, different places in life, and you want to begin to manifest money. But one of the things that I like to teach about people who want to manifest money is to get an understanding of what exactly, or what's the reasoning for you wanting to manifest the money. Reason I say this is because you don't want to chase money. You want money to chase you. And so when you're talking about magnetizing and attracting money and magnetizing money means that money is coming to you. You're not running after money. You're not chasing money, but that money is coming to you. So yeah, your mind is a magnet and you can actually attract money to you. But when we start talking about creating money and creating streams of income and streams of money, what we start talking about is creating a multitude of ideas. Because ideas and concepts are what was going to allow us to be in a position to attract money into our lives. You know, those of us that are entrepreneurs, those of us that are building our brands, those of us that are stepping into starting their own businesses, and those of you that are moving into creating ideas and writing books and all these different things that you're doing as you step onto the stage of life and begin to put yourself in a position to show the world what gift or talent that you provide, you will be able to manifest and be able to bring in what it is that you need for this particular time in your life. Life is about learning the path, right? We learn in life. As we grow older, we go to school, we go to middle school, high school, we go to college, we learn in life. We begin to learn in the beginning stages of life. But after we have learned, we move into the state of practice. So we now move from learning to moving into the experiential path, right? Because I've learned a lot of things in school. Now that I've learned in school, now I'm getting ready to practice and experience the things that I've learned. But now, after I've learned, after I experience those things, I now become the very thing that I've experienced and learned. I've now become one with it. For there is no separation in life. Everything is oneness. Everything is a connection of oneness in life. You meet nobody in this world but yourself. I know a lot of you would say, well, that's unbelievable. Some of you are saying to yourselves right now, listen, there's some things going on in my life that I just don't accept. I don't want in my life. I don't want to deal with these issues, these circumstances. But guess what? You paid for them. You only get out of life what you paid for. Well, what do you mean I paid for them? You paid your attention to them. If you do not pay your attention to things, they will no longer exist in your life. But you have to understand what you are calling or the things that you don't want in life. You have to be very careful of what you're talking about. Let me tell you why. Many of you watching Periscope, Facebook Live, you said to yourself, I want to be successful. You said to yourself, I want to be successful. You're saying to yourself, I want to be somebody who has a great livelihood, that has a great life, a great family. You want the great things in life, right? But now when the obstacles come into your way or the circumstances come into your life, you think that those things are coming into your life to hinder you, but not realizing that those circumstances and those obstacles are there to push you and to enhance you into this level of success that you are praying and contemplating and manifesting. So those obstacles and situations that you're dealing with are not there to hinder you or stop you, but they're there to push you and to put you in the place that you need to be. See, the name of this topic today is not about, it's called What Lies Behind Us and What Lies Before Us can never be compared to what lies within us. Listen, if you live life long enough, life will begin to squeeze you. And as life squeezes you, guess what? Whatever is inside of you will begin to come out. Life circumstances are not created to paralyze you, but they're created to show you who you are. Sometimes life situations will begin to squeeze you because the very thing that's inside of you needs to come out. And the only way that you can know who you are, which strengths you have, your greatness and your success that lies within you, is because sometimes life has to squeeze it out of you. And so what happens is you begin to get squeezed by the circumstances and the obstacles and the situations in your life. And as life squeezes you, the very thing that's inside of you begins to come out. And so we begin to understand and look at this from this perspective. We have UK in the building. I want to shout you out. Thank you for all the way from the UK. My prayers go out to the city of Manchester. Growing up, my father and me, our favorite soccer team was always Manchester United. So those of you that are watching from the UK, we're sending out our prayers and our support to the city of Manchester. As today they're doing their big race, race that they're doing, and they're running for different charities and situations. And so we support the city of Manchester and the UK. What happens is, as you begin to squeeze, as life begins to squeeze you, the very things that you have inside of you are going to begin to come out. And so the obstacles and the circumstances and these things that you're running away from are the very things that you need to embrace that's going to enhance you and move you into the place that you need to be. Why? You'll look back on this time and say, you know what? I'm glad that I went through the stuff that I went through. I'm glad that I went through the obstacles and the challenges that I went through, because had I not went through those things, I wouldn't know how strong I could be. I wouldn't know how wise and how vibrant, and I would have known that I had the capabilities of overcoming those things. I didn't know that I had the ability to do this. I didn't know that I had the ability to do that. You would not know who you are and what gifts and talents you possess without going through the challenges and the obstacles of life. They always say that life is the greatest teacher, right? And so as we begin to grow through life, we begin to find out that what lies within us is one of the most important things, because when we were born with everything we need already within us. There's nothing to be added. There's nothing to be taken away. Everything we need is already within us. It's already been embedded within us. And as you begin to go within and tap into the greatness, the success, the imagination, that level of creative consciousness that we have, to be able to move into a new paradigm and a new shift, we begin to move into that new element of life. Because to be honest with us, there's no reason why any of us should not have what it is that we want in life. For if you fail to go within, you must learn to live without. I got to be able to go within, because it's within me where everything that I need lies. We talked earlier about the person who says, I'm looking for love because I don't feel like anybody loves me. But the question is, do you love yourself? Because the love that you're searching for outside of yourself already exists within you. So what that means is that somebody or some circumstance got into your head and convinced you that there's no love inside of you, but that you need to search for a love outside of yourself. But those of us that are searching for love need to go within and look and say, look, this love that I need, this attention, this affirmation that I need, this acceptance of being accepted. We're in a place now where everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Doesn't matter who accepts you or who acknowledges you. The only thing that matters is if you accept yourself and if you acknowledge yourself. Because what I do for myself will determine what happens to what other people. Listen, people will only treat you the way you treat yourself. You have to teach people how to treat you. And so people will only treat you the way that you treat yourself. And so if you don't love yourself, how do you expect people to love you if you yourself don't love yourself? If you have no self-respect, how could you imagine or really expect anybody to give you respect when you have no respect for yourself? Doesn't matter who accepts you or who acknowledges you. It matters about how you accept and how you acknowledge yourself. It starts with the self. Today we're taking off the mask. We're taking off the mask and we're allowing ourselves to move in this identity that we have and that we were born with. We're learning about moving in our physical and our obligated born identity that we were born with. I'm moving into who I was created to be. I'm moving into this understanding that life can be what I need it to be. I can have the life that I want to live. I can enjoy it. I can have the success, the wealth, and the happiness. You know what I found out too? Is that a lot of us, we get caught up in the glamour of life. We get caught up in, wanting the expensive cars, family, jewelry. We want those things because it's been glamorized on TV and on the computers, on the internet, on social media, that those are the things that determine success. Those are the things that determine that we're successful, that we're happy. And so what happens is we go crazy trying to get those things and trying to and magnetize those things in our lives, only to find out that the very things that we thought would bring us happiness and joy, which are things that are materialistic things, really didn't take us to the place that we thought they would. We really realized that when you got the new car in the house, it was only a temporary satisfaction. When you got the new Louis Vuitton bag and the new red bottoms and you got all that stuff, and you realized that it was only really a temporary satisfaction. You realize that it really didn't really satisfy you the way that you thought it would. It didn't give you that permanent fulfillment that you were looking for. When in reality, the very permanent fulfillment permanent happiness, that permanency that you're looking for can only be found from within. And so I want to encourage all of you today, if you can, to join me on June 1st. We're doing this live webinar Thursday, June the 1st. Those of you that are watching at Periscope, what you can do is go to the link in the bio and click on it, and you can go to my website. At the top of my website, there is a link for you to join the webinar. Those of you that are watching by Facebook Live, you can go in the description box and you can click on the link and register right now. We're going to be teaching out of this book for the webinar, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. Also, those of you that want to buy the book, it is available on the website and in the description box on Facebook Live. Also, this is my newly released book, The Art of Manifestation, 6 Keys to Creating Your Own Reality. If you want to purchase this book, the link is in the bio and also in the description box for the Facebook Live viewers. I want to thank you all for tuning into the broadcast today. And before we leave, I'd like to say this one thing. Your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. Thank you.